This is for all the people who are struggling out there. All the people who feel like no matter what they do, they can't seem to get a break, to get their head above water. Seems like they get this under control and this goes wrong. You seem like they get this thing finally okay, and three things over here all start messing up at the same time. And there's a Buddhist saying, it's also in this book called The Road Less Traveled. It's a common philosophical thing that threads through probably every religion, every philosophy, every person who's ever stopped to examine life. And that's that life is hard. And once you accept that, it gets half as hard. It gets 50% easier because you make most of your problems by trying to run away from how hard it is. That's what laziness is. You get up off the couch. Oh, it's hard. You go back down again. And now your life becomes 10 times harder because that thing doesn't get done, and it has to get done eventually. So you put it off and put it off and put it off until you have to do it under much worse circumstances because you put it off so long. And maybe you put off 10 things. So now you only have time to do 5 of them. So you have to pick which 5 are going to cost the least, which 5 need to get done the most for your life to have the least problems tomorrow. And no matter which 5 you pick, you're going to have some big problems tomorrow that you would have never had if you had just done each of those when they came to you in a normal time frame instead of procrastinating. And so, the idea is if you accept that life is hard, you will do each task as it comes to you, understanding it's going to be painful, and you'll get it done. And that'll take away 50% of how hard it is. But nothing is going to take away the fact that it's going to be a little painful to do some of these tasks. And life is going to throw you unexpected, crazy tailspins like devastating illness, disaster, family situations, malicious people, name it, circumstances, things that you just didn't foresee coming, or you did foresee, but you didn't realize they would be this bad. So, okay, so accept life is hard and then go forward. The only problem with that is I've known that for years and I've never managed to put that into practice. Like, life is hard. Okay, let me go do the task and suffer through it and be done and say, okay, I made my life 50% less hard by facing it. That sounds responsible. It sounds grown up. It sounds healthy, functional, boring. Nobody wants to do that. That's not fun. If you're a kid, that's what adults do. If you're an adult, that's what boring adults do. You watch TV, you watch movies, you don't watch people doing chores in TV and movies and exciting things. You don't vicariously watch a movie about someone vacuuming and say, oh, look at that. They're vacuuming. They hated it, but they just did it. That's inspiring. No, that's really not. You watch stuff about people battling and fighting and going through tremendous situations and coming out on the other side with tremendous victories and rewards. And you sit on the couch watching those things because that's more exciting than vacuuming. And I'm here to tell you that, first of all, that's why your life is 50% awful or barely manageable or whatever you want to pick it. And again, this video, if you are 100% victoriously killing every second, then this video might not be for you. Although you'll probably sit here just nodding like, yep, if you want to keep watching it. But you don't have to because you're doing your thing, right? But for everybody else, here's what I figured out. Life is not hard. You think in your mind, when I get that, if I had $1 million, okay, they say money won't make you happy. And you know deep down inside that psychologically it'll get you excited for a while, but then a whole bunch of new problems will come with it, and you won't have the discipline to handle it the way you think you will. And pretty soon the excitement will be over, and now you'll have a whole new set of issues. You'd know that deep down inside if someone gave you $1 million. Still, feels pretty good to name the 20 things you could knock out and never have to think about again with that $1 million and still have half of it left to have fun with, right? Here's the thing. You are way less able to handle $1 million than you think you are. You think you can boom, 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 knock out all those things, and you'll be like completely, you think, well, let me get the $1 million and then I'll tell you how I feel. But there was a time in my life when $10,000 would have pretty much solved 90% of my problems. I had smaller problems, but nonetheless, adult problems in my face that made my every waking minute seemingly way more difficult than it needed to be. Just $10,000. And I was averse to taking loans, which I think is good. I was conditioned by a lot of different teachers that to try to avoid debt as much as possible. So here I need $10,000 and I don't even have a couple hundred to rub together. But I just kept thinking, man, 10,000, that would be nice. That would be nice. Little did I know that was the time when I was going to transition from completely starving artist to completely confident, financially successful artist. And 6 months later, I had $10,000 in the bank. I had a little more than that. And you could say I solved some of those problems, but I felt none of the feelings I thought I was going to feel about if I had those $10,000, I'd have complete relief for a while and just be like, now I can relax about all those things stressing me. And now I can just have a good time and plod along, and I won't be lazy. I'll keep working, but I won't have to work with stuff keep hitting me in the face and attacking me. And my work will be like cool and smooth and accomplishing. I'll be dancing and having fun because that $10,000 knocked out all that crap. No. $10,000 knocked out this and this, and pretty much everything kind of stayed the same. Now, I was super excited. I can't tell you the feeling of crossing over from unsuccessful, starving artist to successful, confident artist. That was an amazing feeling, but it wasn't a feeling like, oh, now I get to relax. Now there's no more problems. I got there by attacking really scary problems and slowly conquering fears. That's how I got to the $10,000. It wasn't because someone handed it to me. And as I conquered those fears, I just began to see more and more. When I got to 10,000, I saw myself as I realized how small I was, because there are people making 100,000 and there are people making 1 million and there are people making 10 million. And we're not even talking about finances. We're talking about there are people who have more success with friends, with family, with whatever their dreams are, whatever their life wants to accomplish. When I hit that 10,000 mark, I suddenly felt like the tiniest little ant looking up at the entire universe. Instead of feeling like, oh, now I can just rest and chill for a while, I suddenly felt like, whoa, I just cracked open the door to see how big the world is. This 10,000 is just like a drop in the bucket. And I felt like more pressure to make 15,000, 20,000. Because suddenly I kind of got up. Like when you're starving, you can't think of anything about like where your next penny is going to come from, where your next dollar. But once you get up to a certain amount and you have some saved and you're confident and the money is coming in, suddenly you're looking at like, whoa, there's so much more I feel like I need to be doing. There's so much more I could be doing. It's a little exciting, but it's also like overwhelming, like your paradigm changes. And so what I'm getting at, like, the 10,000 didn't really solve anything. And you getting what you think you want is not going to solve anything. Getting that person you're romantically chasing is not going to solve your problems. And, and those of you who've been married a long time, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That, like, you're super happy that you found somebody, but that just opens your eyes up to a whole new universe of challenges that you gladly will accept, but you're humbled by it. Like, whoa, there's a lot of work ahead. There's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of battles and stuff. And there's a lot of rewards too, but you don't take those rewards like a little kid in a candy shop. Gimme, 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 gimme. You take them like, whoa, I have to earn each and every one of those through my blood, sweat, and tears. And I accept this challenge, but I'm sober. I'm humbled by it. Whoa. So when does it get better? When do you wake up? Do you ever wake up and say, now I'm happy? Do you ever wake up and stop saying, oh my goodness, just more problems, just more issues, just 10 things that I have to do? And 2 of them don't look like I could ever solve them. 2 of them look like they're out of my hands, like it's somebody else's fault. And no matter what I try to do, that person is not going to do what they're supposed to do. And that affects me, and I can't get out of it. And I know I'm supposed to take responsibility for everything, but this one I really feel like I can't do. Somebody else needs to do it, and they're not doing it, and I feel trapped. If only life could be different. If only it could be this or this or this or this. Now go back to what I said in the beginning, that philosophical thing. Well, just accept that life is hard, and then you'll make it half as hard. Oh, that sounds really good. Like, so instead of 10 problems, I'll have 5 problems. Not really. That doesn't give you the punch in the gut, like when you watch a superhero knock out the bad guy. Is that, So what is it? Why do I have this yearning in my soul to be at a place where I'm satisfied, where I'm happy, where I'm conquering? Why are there some people who seem to feel that way? Now, they're very few and far between, but all the motivational speakers talk like they are, and all the certain people on TV and people who write books. Like, why? Is that real? Are they just making it up to sell books? Can you achieve that? Are they lucky? Did they just have better parenting and better situations? And, so they had to do a little bit of work, but they don't have the problems you have. Like, they don't even understand half the problems you have. Here's the answer. Your life is not hard. It's not supposed to beat you down. It's not a struggle. You're not supposed to accept that it's hard and then do your duty, do what you're supposed to do, and trudge through it, and then sit down and be satisfied that you made it less hard, that you made it 50% less hard. Your life is a battle. You're not in a couch. You're not in a living room. You're not in a car. That's physically where you are. That's surface stuff. That doesn't matter. You are in a war. Since the time you popped out, you were born in the delivery room, from the moment you open your eyes with a big cry because you're like, what is all this bright, cold air? Light, what is this? And you just bumped into things like crazy as a toddler and figured it out slowly, walking and talking and stuff. But where's this adult stuff get figured out? This is the answer. You are in a battle. You will be in a battle until the end. So don't accept that life is hard. Accept that life is a war. If you can accept that, then things coming at you that seemingly, it's not your imagination that you feel like some of these things could kill you. Like, some of these problems are just overwhelming. Like, how do other people deal with this? They don't. People don't have it this hard, or people who have it this hard give up. Why are you still struggling? That's not your imagination. That is the battle that was given to you. You were picked to be a soldier from the time you were born. And you think, this is like, it's too hard. There's only one reason it's too hard. And if you figured this out already, you'll be high-fiving me through the video and saying amen. But most people, I don't think most people get this. If you understand that you're in a battle and that is it, period, and you were chosen to fight, you weren't some like little kid soldier who was plucked out of the village and tossed into some battle you can't handle in some third world country. You were at a 14-year-old given a machine gun and told to go fight adults, and you're like totally unprepared in your shorts and sandals. That's not how it is. You are totally, thoroughly battle-hardened tough. You are strong. You have all the capabilities to fight this battle. You have the muscles. You have the heart. You have the brain power. You are intelligent enough. You have the skills. You have the gifts. You can beat this battle. The problem is you spent your whole life not knowing it was a battle, thinking it wasn't a battle, thinking it was life. Go to work, go to school, do the right thing. Everything should be fine. That's not how battles work. You're hyper vigilant when you're in a battle. Every second, you're blocking, you're attacking. Your whole focus is to kill, to destroy, to conquer, to win. And every moment of your life that you haven't felt that way is why the problems pile up. And they're not problems. They're worse than problems. They're going to crush you. They're going to make your life hell and worse. Because nothing in your life was designed to be sitting on the shelf. Nothing was designed to be a project that you finish and then sit down and have some iced tea and watch some television. Every second, every minute was designed for you to fight. You are a fighter. And the most passionately exciting thing on earth is that you're armed, you're skilled, you're powerful, you're scary, you're freaking scary. You are a tough, powerful warrior. But you don't believe that. You haven't known that. You've been sitting on the couch thinking that you're just doing your life, and these big, scary things have been coming up and knocking you over, knocking you to the left, knocking you to the right, and hurting you, hurting people around you. So you get up and you do some attacking, you use some of your skills, and you get some of the problems knocked down, and you think, oh, okay, that's enough. I'm going to chill on the couch for 3 hours and watch some television because I knocked out some of these problems. I should be good now. And you're not. You might feel good for a while. You know, everyone in a battle, in a war, there's all different kinds of situations. You know, you're not like, sometimes you fight the enemy or whatever, and you can ignore the enemy and you can feel fine. You can go sit back in your camp and light a fire and take out a book and read it and think you're fine. And the enemy is regrouping and planning, and a whole big worse assault is coming, but you're not ready because you're sitting there like thinking, I did enough. I fought a little bit of the battle, and now I'm going to retire and relax for a little while. And then it comes back and it hits you harder. The people that keep getting hit and knocked over are the people who fight a little bit and then they sit down, relax. And then they fight a little bit and they sit down, relax. And what happens is they're not fighting enough, and that stuff is coming up and it's knocking them over. You're not meant to fight an easy war. This is a This is everything. It takes everything inside of you. It takes all your brain power, all your heart, all of your muscles, all of your skills to beat these problems. They are scary. They are really scary problems. They're not light. It isn't, you're not going crazy when you think this is too much for you. It is too much if you don't fight. If you don't fight, it will crush you. If you don't see every second as a battle, it will overwhelm you. And that's where you get suicide, and that's where you get disease, and that's where you get crumbling stuff, all kinds of bad things that creep up on you. And I am not saying that every single bad thing that happens to you is your own fault because you didn't do something about it. Like we said, bad things just come from everywhere. I'm saying you were chosen, whatever you believe, fate, philosophy, however you were raised, I'm telling you, you were chosen to fight a battle that was designed just for you, for your skills, for your heart, for your brain, for your endurance. It was designed to push you to your limit. That if you fight back, you will find amazingly exciting things. And if you don't fight back, it will knock you out. It will knock you left and knock you right and make you get up off the ground like shaking, terrified at what the heck is going on. But if you wake up every day and you take every minute and you say, this is going to be hard. Remember that earlier part, life is hard? Yeah, it's hard, but it's not hard like, oh, vacuuming is not fun. It's hard like it's going to knock you out. If you think of it like that, that vacuuming is going to knock you, because if you don't do the vacuuming, then somebody's going to be unhappy with you that your house isn't clean. You're going to be unhappy. Those unhappy thoughts are going to culminate. Your relatives are going to pick on you. Those unhappy thoughts are going to culminate. Your boss is going to be annoyed with you. Those unhappy thoughts are going to culminate. And pretty soon you're going to have to go for medication. You're going to have to take a whole day off. You're going to feel like you're going to have a mental breakdown. That's real stuff. And then you will get physically sick. All because of the vacuum. So if you think of the vacuum as, oh, I'm going to make my life a little bit easier by accepting that it's hard and trudge through it, that's boring. If you look at the vacuuming and you say that's part of the battle, knocking out that vacuuming is the same as knocking an enemy out. There's a whole bunch of enemies coming at you constantly. It's like on a battlefield. The vacuum is one of them. And I'm not being metaphorical in saying this. I'm not saying, well, the vacuum cleaner is kind of like your battle. It is, literally. That is your thing. You have to fight that battle. You have to do that vacuuming. That is bad. It's hard. It's a battle. You're not going to like it. But if you attack it and you think of it as a battle, you're going to switch from not liking it to loving that you killed it. And then what's the next thing after the vacuum? Because you don't want to do that vacuuming begrudgingly. You want to do it twice as fast as you normally do it. You want to do it harder. You want to take some risk. You want to see if you can do it 5 minutes earlier than you usually finish, so you have more time for the next thing that's going to come and hit you, and you want to take that on, and the next thing, and the next thing. It's a sport. You could think of it like a sport, but it's a high-stakes sport. You're the best athlete. You're the basketball player, and you have to get between those 8 players to get to the bat, or however many players, you have to get around and pass and everything to get to the basket. And they're all coming at you, and you can't pause for a second. You've got to figure out your strategy of how you're going to get around all of them, and you've got to execute in the second. So you could think of it like a sport, but it's worse than a sport. It's a real battle because it will crush you. It will crush you in real life, for real. You will be hurt as much as you would be hurt in a real battle if you don't fight. If you do fight, I'm not even going to tell you what's going to happen, how you're going to feel. Because I don't think you'll believe me. I'm just going to say, take what I'm saying and take your battle and fight it. Take your battle and fight it. Fight it hard. Fight it with excitement. Fight it knowing that you are chosen to do this fight. That vacuuming is not a stupid chore. It is an enemy, and you're chosen to kill it. And then you're chosen to kill the bathroom cleaning, and you're chosen to kill the taxes. Oh, wow, what a horrible enemy. That's a tough one. For me, anyway. I hate taxes. Now, I hate the idea of figuring them out. That's a tough one. So I'm going to boost up my muscles even more when I get to that one, because that one's not going to beat me. Nothing will beat me. Nothing will beat me, because I'm tougher than every one of those enemies. I have bigger muscles. I'm smarter. I have more heart. And I have more of a desire to win than all these enemies you could line up. Give me 100 of them. I will knock them down. Every single one. And I will not rest. I will rest when I pass out. When I knock down 87 of them and I can't go on another second, then maybe I'll go to sleep for the night. But you can be sure that when I wake up tomorrow, I'm going to knock out the other 13. That's how you win. I'm not even going to say it's how you win. I'm going to just say that's how you fight back. And that's how you stop living in this depressive, surrendering, sad state of it's not even mediocrity. It's like, ugh. It's how you get out. So, do it or don't. But I hope you do. And you'll see what happens. I'm not even going to tell you. Till next time. I told you in the last video that I'm not going to tell you how you feel if you do the thing. You just do it and then you find out. But I am going to tell you now. You feel overwhelming joy, victory, excitement. Your fear evaporates. Your fear is gone. You find who you are and you find why you were put here. You find everything you were afraid of can't touch you is gone. It evaporates and nothing matters except the rush of excitement that you know now your place and you know who you were meant to be and who you're supposed to be. And every little step of your life becomes meaningful, becomes exciting. Little things, little tasks that you used to say, I can't wait to get this over with so that, I can get to the things I really care about. Or steps up to a goal 5-10 years from now. I can't wait to get there because then I'll feel so good. It's not like that anymore. Every second you feel good, you have arrived. It's not a matter of when I get X, Y, and Z done, I will have arrived, I hope. It's you're there. You're living who you are. And every movement and every moment is exciting. You don't have to look for where it will ever be or hope or pine. You have it. You are the person you wanted to be. That's what you get. So you decide if you want to do that. It's not I don't know. You just decide. You figure it out if you want to do it. See ya.